I'm worried that the US government will go broke and that we are at game time. If we don't deal with this now, we're going to have serious problems.
The times ahead will be radically different from those that we've experienced in our lifetimes, though similar to many times before. How do I know that? Because they always have been. Over my roughly 50 years of global macroeconomic investing, I've learned the hard way that the most important events that surprised me did so because they never happened in my lifetime. These painful surprises led me to study the last 500 years of history for similar situations, where I saw that they had indeed happened many times before, with the ups and the downs of the Dutch, British, and US empires. And every time they did, it was a sign of the changing world order.
And my views are based on studying many countries over many years. I want to show you the mechanics behind it so that you can see yourself how this thing works mechanistically.
Ray Dalio, who's a billionaire and served as the co-chief investment officer at the world's largest hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, is not only worried that the U.S. debt problem will get so bad that the U.S. will go broke, that he has dedicated his life to studying debt cycles. And he's created a new study that will be published later this year as a book titled How Countries Go Broke, Principles for Navigating the Big Debt Cycle, Where We Are Headed, and What we should do as a nation. And if you haven't read his previous book called The Changing World Order, Why Nations Succeed and Fail, I highly suggest checking that out. There's also a 43-minute video on YouTube. If you just type in principles for Ray Dalio after watching this video, it has 62 million views. It was posted 2 years ago. Highly recommended. Now, what I'm going to cover with you over the next few minutes, if you hold XRP, Chainlink, Dogecoin, FLOKI, other meme coins, artificial intelligence projects, over the past week, we have seen the crypto market get absolutely destroyed as if Joe Biden was running again. But yet we have the most friendly crypto president in history that is getting inaugurated on January 20th. So why is the market selling off? What is about to happen next? And what should we do right now to prepare as the US prints more money than ever before, sending the value of your dollar down to the Marianas Trench, devaluing your savings account, your retirement fund, creating one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in history? What will this look like for the crypto market compared to the US dollar, for Bitcoin? A statement from the vice chair of the FDIC about tokenization of digital assets in the US to begin day one of January 20th. We're uncovering some documents that have been leaked that you need to see. Ripple going on a buying spree and acquiring over $250 million worth of companies. So the real question arises is, what is the strategy here for XRP, and what is their plan the rest of this bull run? Major loss after loss for the Securities and Exchange Commission. The final countdown over the next 24 hours in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, and major turn of events that we need to pay attention to. What is going to happen with the biggest banks in the world this year with Ripple that will completely change the game? We're getting into the XRP, the US dollar price chart. We're talking about Dogecoin to the US dollar, comparing that to Bitcoin. We also have to bring up FLOKI's price chart and how that compares to Dogecoin. Also, what Elon Musk is saying about Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, what Donald Trump just mentioned and just said, creating a new version of the IRS, and also a major update for Altcoin Pro members that you do not want to miss. So we got a jam-packed video for you guys today. I know you're going to absolutely love. As always, comment 777 if you're feeling blessed. If you're feeling bullish, let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So with the crypto market taking a beating over the past week, in the past 24 hours, things have been bouncing, recovering. And is this something to be worried about? Should you be selling your crypto? These are some of the questions that people have in their mind. And when you're in doubt, what do? We zoom out and we see what narratives over the past year have been the most explosive. And as you can see, we got XRP, we got Ondo for real world assets, we have meme coins, of course, we got Pepe, we got FLOKI, we got WIF, we got artificial intelligence projects, AIOZ, we have layer ones like SUI, DEX tokens like Radium, ISO standard projects, HBAR, Algorand, and tons of other projects doing very well over the past year. So we're going to get into the charts in this video, but first, let's talk about what the government is doing and why it's leading to an inevitable bull run and how to get rich while the government goes broke. Because if we go to the federalreserve.gov official website, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, I've showed you guys this in previous videos, every single year their historical print orders of hundreds, 50s, 20s, 10s, 5s, 2s, and 1s continuously goes out there into circulation. Now, a lot of it is not in circulation because it's digits on a screen in your computer because they already have a digital form of the dollar. So the vast majority is not necessarily even paper currencies, but even if you have, the paper currency right here, you can see whether it be on a $100 bill or a dollar bill, there is a code right here on the $1 bill, and also on the $100 bill, we also see a code right here. So every single time money gets put into circulation through their print orders, there is a code attached to every single bill. So when you go to a bank and you withdraw cash and you get all these bills, you're really getting the individual codes for all these bills that are now in your custody. So when we talk about self-custody of your crypto, that's where you have your own private keys, which is code essentially that gives you ownership of your crypto on the blockchain. And so this is through a ledger. So banks have their own version of a ledger. Each blockchain has their own ledger. That's why it's called the XRP ledger. And what the government is doing is they're transitioning from a traditional ledger that they've used for decades through Swift to distributed ledger technology. We're going to get into that in this video. Now, the real key to understand here and why in the short term, it doesn't matter what happens on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, because when in doubt, we zoom out on the crypto market. And the reason why, in my opinion, the crypto market is going to continue up over the next few decades, even while we go through these, 1-year bear market cycles from top to bottom, that we can time to predictably know when is the best time to get out of the market and re-enter the market at the bear market bottom to get better entry positions to scale our portfolio faster. That's why we make these videos each and every single day. But on the macro, this is the biggest reason why crypto is just going to continue to rise on the long term. It's because of inflation. In the year 2000, to buy an item for $100, you would need $181.21 to buy the same item in November of 2024, because the total inflation rate over that 24-year period was 81%. And this is according to the average inflation rate of 2.51% per year. Now, everybody knows that inflation is much higher than this because depending on where you live, depending on what business you're shopping at, there's price gouging and all of that. But the CPI in November of 2000 was 174, and the CPI in November 2024 is 315. So this is the most unsustainable path that this country has ever been on. And when Ray Dalio talks about the rise and fall of nations and the shift of the global reserve currency, we're going through that right now. And usually throughout history, the length of time a currency has held the status of the global reserve currency has varied significantly. So, for example, the pound sterling was the world's dominant reserve currency for much of the 19th century, and into the early 20th century, it reached its peak in the 1800s during the British Empire's global influence and was the primary reserve currency until the early 1900s. So on average, the British pound held this status for about 100 years. Then the US dollar became the dominant global reserve currency after World War II, following the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944, which established the dollar as the cornerstone of the global financial system. So the US dollar's dominance has lasted over 80 years, though its status is increasingly challenged in recent years by other currencies like the euro, potentially the Chinese yuan, the BRICS nations through Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now Saudi Arabia. So according to ChatGPT, the average duration of a reserve currency is roughly 80 to 100 years in the modern era. So over the next 20 years, we are going to see some of the most dramatic shifts globally, and we're witnessing it right now, specifically in the crypto market. Crypto plays a big role in this. There's a reason why Donald Trump is advocating for the United States to be the Bitcoin and the crypto capital of the world and to have a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, whether they implement the strategic Bitcoin reserve or not doesn't matter, because historically the transition from one reserve currency to another has been marked by significant geopolitical shifts or the rise of a new economic power. And so we're seeing that happen right now. And so for people that are saying Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, or crypto is a scam, have you not seen what the US dollar is backed by Have you not done any research, which I know you have, you're an intelligent human being, you went through history class whether you remember it or not. I definitely didn't pay that much attention in history because I was too focused on playing basketball, tennis, going skiing after school because I'm from Boise, Idaho. So I didn't really pay attention to this stuff until I decided to drop out of college. That's when I decided my self-education journey and starting to research what money is, where money comes from, and how to create long-lasting wealth. So the US dollar, unlimited supply, it was taken off the gold standard in 1971, so it's not backed by gold anymore. It then became the petrodollar, but the agreement with Saudi Arabia expired, and so now with Saudi Arabia doing deals for petroleum in the yuan, that's further decreasing the power of the US dollar. But Trump plans to change that, so we'll see how that goes over the next few years, which could further delay the transition from the US dollar to another reserve currency. That's why it's roughly 80 to 100 years, so we're about 80 years in. But it's centrally controlled. The Federal Reserve, the Treasury, they basically decide how much money they can print, whereas you look at something like Bitcoin or even XRP, there's a fixed supply. Bitcoin is backed by energy. And even as the dollar increases in value compared to other countries' currencies, it will forever decrease in spending power compared to something like Bitcoin or XRP or other altcoins that we're going to discuss in this video. So when we bring up the Dixie, the DXY, this is just essentially the US dollar compared to a basket of 5 other currencies. Actually, it's 6 currencies. It would be the euro, the yen, the British pound, the Canadian dollar, the Swedish krona, and the Swiss franc. So as you see the DXY go up, it just simply means that the dollar is increasing in value compared to those other currencies. Now, when I look on the chart right here, we are on the monthly for both Bitcoin on the bottom and the dollar, the DXY on the top. And if I bring up the MACD on the monthly, we see something interesting happen here. If we go all the way back to the 1st of February of 2016, we witnessed a bearish cross on the MACD well above 0, and we saw a sell-off in the DXY followed by one final rally up for a new high. So we were creating higher highs on the DXY, but we were creating a lower high right here on the MACD for a bearish divergence. Simultaneously, on the bottom of the screen, you can see Bitcoin rallied from all the way down here at roughly $300 to $400 on the 1st of February of 2016. And after the DXY formed a bearish cross, Bitcoin went back up and consolidated at the previous high of November of 2013 to December of 2013 and consolidated at it, where I'm looking at the bottom of the screen right here where this arrow is pointing right now. So then the DXY topped out. After it topped out, it went from about 103 all the way down to 88. The MACD plummeted all the way below 0, as you can see right here on the histogram. And Bitcoin went from around $1,000 upwards of nearly $20,000 that bull run. Then the DXY bottomed out. We saw a bullish cross all the way down here below 0, and then the dollar started to recover again while Bitcoin went into a bear market. So that's why people are saying this bull run cycle is more comparable to what happened back from 2017 to 2018. Because if we look at what's happening right now on the DXY compared to Bitcoin, you guys can see on the 1st of February of 2023, there was a bearish cross that took place on the monthly MACD for the DXY, and the dollar had peaked out prior to that, upwards of 114 on the DXY. Saw this sell-off, we see a bearish cross. Bitcoin had just made its bear market low and started to work its way on out of here for the recovery. Very similar to what happened all the way back here after the bear market low for Bitcoin back in 2015. In February of 2016, when the bearish cross happened, Bitcoin was making the recovery off of the low, just like Bitcoin started to make the recovery off the low on the right-hand side of the screen right here. And so what we're seeing right now is the MACD at the top at 1.2, the signal line at 0.93. We just formed a bullish cross above 0. Now, the real key is this could potentially be a fake out, and we could see the MACD line reverse back around again while the dollar finds a peak that's either equal to the high of the 3rd of October when the DXY peaked out back in 2022, or as a higher high while the MACD is forming a lower high, which could potentially be a bearish divergence. Now, very interesting how Bitcoin is consolidating above its previous high of 2021, similar to what happened back here from January 2017 until April, until Bitcoin exploded after the dollar peaked out and then reversed to the downside. So could we see the DXY peak out, reverse to the downside, and that is what causes the massive explosion for Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoin market past $100,000, causing the DXY to reset all the way below 0 at the top of the screen right here, very similar to what happened back from 2017 to 2018 like this? Well, we shall see, but it's interesting to note because as we get into the rest of this video, according to this statement by the vice chair of the FDIC, the work around tokenization and digital assets in the United States will begin on day one when Trump gets inaugurated January 20th. So in less than a week from right now, this is why regulatory clarity for digital assets in the United States will occur rapidly. This document was published on January 10th of this year, so like 4 days ago, and it says in 10 days, there will be a change in leadership at the FDIC. The agency needs a new direction, and one way or another, I expect that work to begin on January 20th. The views I express today are my own as vice chairman of the FDIC and not necessarily those of the FDIC or other members of the board. So if the vice chairman is saying this, we got to listen. Another area in which a reset is sorely needed is the agency's approach to digital assets and tokenization. Ultimately, this work was discontinued in early 2022 following a change in leadership at the FDIC, and instead the agency's established process in which each institution must engage with its regulator on an individual basis before engaging in any activities related to digital assets or blockchain. I have talked in the past about how damaging this approach has been, and it has stifled innovation and contributed to a public perception that the FDIC is closed for business if institutions are interested in anything related to blockchain or distributed ledger technology. So there has been intel that is released where Donald Trump expects to issue executive orders pertaining to crypto on day one. So could this be why Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, Stuart Alderoty, their chief legal officer, met with Trump for dinner and posted that picture that I covered in yesterday's video where I decoded the gematria behind words like Donald Trump, Thomas Anderson from The Matrix, even Stellar's XLM. Well, you're going to have to watch that video on the channel to learn more about that. And this, we're focusing on what's happening on a day-to-day basis, such as Ripple acquiring over $250 million worth of companies. So the strategy here for XRP all comes down to tokenization and how banks will leverage blockchains in the coming year as we transition over from traditional ledgers to distributed ledger technology to bridge global liquidity. So what is the first component of the strategy? Well, according to Austin King here, I thought this was a great post. Number one is Medico acquisition. So banks can now give their customers access to crypto products via Ripple's custody services. Already banks like Citibank, HSBC, BNP Paribas, and others are using this platform. But what is the strategy once banks are onboarded into these custody services with Ripple? Well, through standard custody acquisition, banks will be able to tokenize assets on the XRP ledger, and RLUSD is just Ripple's first tokenized asset. Soon, Ripple will begin to offer tokenization as a service to banks. Most people are misunderstanding the next step in this strategy, though, because next they will expand those tokenized assets across the entire on-chain economy. But wait, if the assets leave the XRP ledger, what was the point of this at all? If they go to Solana, Arbitrum, Base, Ethereum, etc. Well, Ripple's strategy here is to turn the XRP ledger into the tokenization hub for banks worldwide. With this, they can add fee mechanisms from tokenization that are far more profitable than transaction fees and competitive to current fees within the banking system. Like a wire transfer fee that takes 3 to 5 days, outrageous. The future for XRP is transaction fees plus tokenization fees. And in Gary Gensler's final days in office, his anti-crypto crusade is imploding, and a federal appeals court has laid bar to what the industry has said for years. His selective enforcement of securities laws was and is a covert attempt to ban the industry outright. It's shameful. So Stuart Alderoty just posted this saying, huge congrats to Paul Grewal and Coinbase for their win today, where they just won at the Third Circuit, rebuking the SEC for its order denying their rulemaking petition. The court held that the SEC's order was conclusory and insufficiently reasoned and thus arbitrary and capricious. They granted Coinbase's petition in part and remanded to the SEC for a more complete explanation. So Andrew here asked for explanation in sports terms, and Paul said, you can't just throw the yellow flag and penalize. You have to lay out the why and what happens next. For example, offsides, number 85, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down. So this is great news because it shows that the judicial system is doing their job, and they're not just going to throw a red card or throw a yellow flag for no reason because the SEC wants to run amok and do whatever they want. So we have 24 hours left for the SEC to file the appeal in the Ripple case. Will the SEC make their move, or is this a turning point for XRP? And will they finally settle? Now, I expect the SEC to drag this out as long as humanly possible because it's a show, and they're basically delaying the adoption because they need to buy more time. So January 15th is the date tomorrow. and it would be dismissed if the brief is not filed by tomorrow. Or we can see here a motion to extend the time to file the brief or to seek other relief will not toll the filing date. So we'll see what the SEC decides to do over the next 24 hours. But regardless of that, distributed ledger technology will take over the banking system. The biggest banks in the world will use Ripple's custody in 2025. Ripple's strategic partnership with Medico is no coincidence, guys. Ripple is already aligned with tier 1 banks globally, securing partnerships that give them an 80% coverage of the world's key trade corridors. Now with Trump expected to overturn the SAB 121 veto, US tier 1 banks will finally gain the green light to custody digital assets. So this regulatory shift is going to open up the floodgates for utility tokens like XRP, like XLM, like Chainlink, HBAR, Algorand, etc. And with Ripple's custody platform leveraging the XRP ledger to tokenize real-world assets, imagine when 80% of the world's trade corridors are transacting tokenized real-world assets via the XRP ledger with Trump in office, because he's going to be overturning a lot of things that Biden enacted, like the SAB 121, which vetoed US tier 1 investment banks from launching crypto custody services. So if enacted, it's set to cause a snowball effect of new nation states following suit. Structurally, nation state stockpiling leads to increased demand, supporting higher prices. Speaking of higher prices, if you guys have a business or you want to start a business or you're investing in the crypto market or the real estate market, as inflation increases and the price of everything virtually goes up, due to the recklessness of the Federal Reserve and the Treasury, a lot of people have asked us for a solution to unlock funding for their ventures. They've even reached out to me asking me to fund the venture. Now, if I funded every single venture or startup business that people message me on Telegram or Instagram about, I would have no money. So I want to help you guys unlock access to capital with as low as 0% interest and no collateral required. If you guys want to see how much you could get funded for, we'll leave a link in the description below. You just simply enter in the number right here and which best describes you. You own a business or you want to start a business. Even if you don't want to start a business and you want to use it for like real estate or crypto, you can use it for whatever you want. That's completely up to you. Now, this is for people that are comfortable with taking on funding or debt to use the capital to make more money. And if you want the details on that, just put in your monthly income or business revenue, click next. Go through the application process and check that out. This is an amazing solution to be able to access capital that you wouldn't normally have if you're using your own money. Some of the wealthiest people in the world, they use OPM, that's other people's money, to fund different business ventures or their portfolio. Because if we see an explosion in the market here soon and we see like real estate go back up or we see crypto go back up, specifically stuff like XRP, you have to be ready for that. The real key to make money in the crypto market is two things, right? Buy low, sell high. But another thing that a lot of people miss is to buy low, you need a lot of money to buy low. The more money that you have to play in this game, the more money that you can make. Although I make no guarantees, I provide no financial advice. I just simply share with you guys the news because these videos are purely for education, informational purposes only. And crypto is very risky. You could definitely lose money in these markets. For example, if you guys, buy high and you sell low and you take out mass amounts of funding for that, you can get absolutely wrecked. So my goal here is to provide you with enough education, and I'll provide you guys with a solution and a strategy so you can continue your education on top of what you're learning in these videos. Because when I look at the chart for XRP and we talk about what's most likely to happen next, we need to get a forecast based on technicals here. So for example, if we look at XRP at the top of the screen, XRP peaked out at $2.90 at the beginning of December, and we saw this sell-off, and we coiled up in this symmetrical triangle. Now, just recently, on the 11th of January, 3 days ago, we broke out of the symmetrical triangle up to $2.62 at the top of the screen right here, and we sold back off to back test this trend line, which is a descending resistance that got rejected for multiple times as support right here, and we rebounded off of it. This is a very, very good sign because as XRP sits at roughly $2.66, we are within this zone of resistance right here. We are also in a bullish channel since the end of December. Now at the bottom of the screen, if we look back at what happened from the 1st of February 2021 until the breakout that happened right here on the 5th of April, we can see some similarities here where XRP peaked out, it formed a high, we sold all the way off down here, and then we just coiled up between resistance, support, resistance, support. And then we just bounced off of support, forming higher lows, lower highs, until inevitably we broke out right here. And then we back tested this trend line, which is resistance, a descending resistance, as support, rebounded off of it and continued the uptrend in this bullish channel. Inevitably, we broke out of this bullish channel right here on the 5th of April, going from 63 cents and just exploding for XRP over a few day period to over $1, and then inevitably peaked out for that bull run upwards of $2. So in my opinion, which I could be wrong about, but I think this is coming for XRP. And now with Gary Gensler stepping down on the 20th, we're seeing a rally into that news. And so you want to be careful here, because when XRP goes on these multi-day rallies and pushes to the upper echelon of these resistances right here, which we're intersecting right now in this bullish channel, this white line that you guys can see at the top of this screen coming in contact with the high of the 17th of December, roughly $2.70 something cents. Also, this ascending resistance right here in white. So if we get rejected from this and XRP consolidates sideways, we could see another pullback back to this ascending support right here. So for me to buy more XRP, I would be looking at this zone of support, roughly around $2.40-ish cents, or I would just simply expect XRP to consolidate at between where we're at now to $2.90, similar to what happened right here. So how long did this take last bull run for XRP to break out from the high of the 1st of February? Well, if we just measure, it was roughly 63 days. Look at the top of the screen right now. If we just measure from the high right here to where we're at right now on the 14th of January, it's been 43 days. So while XRP breaks out, just remember, markets don't go up forever. We range between zones of resistance, zones of support. So I'm just watching this channel right here, this bullish channel in white at the top of the screen. And I would just expect XRP to range between resistance and support until inevitably we break the high of $2.90, and then massive explosion in price through that. And yes, there could be a potential back test. For example, as you can see right here with this volatility, when XRP exploded to the upside, we saw volatility. We saw massive corrections and sell-offs from $1.13, 20% right here down to 85 cents, rallied back up to $1.70, sold off again to 96 cents, and then rallied on out of there for the rest of the bull run. So I want to bring up some other charts and show you guys some different things so you can see some confluence here for what to expect. Because when we look, for example, at Dogecoin, we've seen this play out very similar to the last few bear markets and bull runs, where we see these rounded bottoms form right here, where Dogecoin goes into a bear market, finds a bottom, consolidates sideways after the capitulation takes place, and then inevitably breaks a key resistance. So all the way back here in January of 2016, even back here to the 1st of September of 2014, there was resistance at like 0.004 right around here until Dogecoin broke that resistance by April of 2017. Simultaneously, at the bottom of the screen, you can see what happened with Bitcoin. This was around the same period after Bitcoin consolidated at the previous high that Bitcoin started to break out after April of 2017 and go on that run. So when Bitcoin breaks out, Dogecoin usually follows. And Dogecoin went upwards of 0.004. Then we saw a big sell-off, and then final blow-off top for Dogecoin for the peak of the bull run after Bitcoin peaked out. Then guess what happened again? Another bear market. Dogecoin saw lower lows, lower highs. We find a bear market bottom, and then we see a major resistance right here at 0.0065. And so Dogecoin struggles to break that resistance until what happens? Look at the bottom of the screen right here. We can see the high of 2017 for Bitcoin. If we were to just draw a horizontal resistance line right here, when Bitcoin, if I draw an arrow at the bottom of the screen, broke this resistance right here at roughly $20,000 and started going into price discovery, look at what happened to Dogecoin at the bottom of the screen. Dogecoin broke this resistance right here, saw a back test of it, and then exploded into price discovery alongside Bitcoin. Just like what happened back here, Dogecoin broke the resistance, goes into price discovery alongside Bitcoin. So where are we right now in this market cycle? Well, Bitcoin barely breached into price discovery, and it's just consolidating at $90,000, whereas Dogecoin is still below the previous all-time high. Dogecoin hasn't gone into price discovery. So in my opinion, just based on the charts here, what we're looking at right now, if I were to circle where I think we are in this market cycle for Dogecoin, is very similar to where we were right here by January of 2021, this stage, and also where we were right here in April of 2017 before Dogecoin absolutely exploded. That's where I think we are right now. And I think with the next move for Bitcoin to the upside and into price discovery after Trump's inauguration day, a couple weeks in, is when we'll see Dogecoin explode to the upside and go upwards of $1. Again, no guarantees here, but just based on the past, compared to where we're at right now, this next move for Bitcoin is going to catapult Dogecoin to the next level. And so that brings me to FLOKI's chart compared to Dogecoin's chart, because did you guys know that Elon Musk has a dog, and it's a Shiba Inu dog named FLOKI? So last bull run cycle, we saw Shiba Inu explode, and that led to an array of meme coins launching and absolutely crushing it. And FLOKI is one of the ones that withstood the test of time. So we can see right here at the top of the screen, FLOKI to Tether, at the bottom of the screen, Dogecoin's chart back in 2017 when we saw that consolidation period until the breakout above a penny for Dogecoin. And so we see this downtrend, right? We see a rally up to a high, and then we see a downtrend take effect for Dogecoin, where we just see lower highs, lower lows, consolidation. Same thing for FLOKI at the top of the screen. We see, one peak right here. Yeah, we saw a higher high right here, but generally we just see this downtrend, or you can just consider it sideways consolidation right here because, the highs are somewhat similar to each other. But one key thing that I notice here is when Dogecoin broke this descending resistance right here in July of 2020, we broke out, and then we back tested it as support before the breakout took place. Look at what just happened with FLOKI. We see lower high right here, lower high right here, lower high right here. We break a high. We didn't quite clear the high of the 6th of June, so this isn't a trend reversal yet until we clear that high. That is the current high right now that we need to clear at like 0.000355. But we break out, and guess what we're doing right now? We're back testing this descending resistance as support right now, similar to what happened right here for Dogecoin at the bottom of the screen. So could we see FLOKI start to work through this right here with Dogecoin before the next massive injection in liquidity alongside Bitcoin for a new high as FLOKI goes into price discovery, similar to what happened for Dogecoin back during the last bull run of 2021 when it absolutely exploded to the upside? Because look at how fast this happened when Dogecoin broke the previous high. This took place in a matter of like a day or two, less than 7 days pretty much. Most of it happens within a couple days. And then inevitably, over the course of 98 days, Dogecoin rallied over 9,000%. And I'm just measuring from right here of January. If I measured from all the way down here, it's way more than that. Now, am I saying that FLOKI's going to pull 9,000%? No, because the market cap is larger. Because if we go to coinmarketcap.com, like Dogecoin's at a $52 billion market cap, Dogecoin's definitely not going to do 9,000% this bull run. But if we scroll down here, I think FLOKI could actually outperform Dogecoin because it's at a $1.5 billion market cap. So a 10x for FLOKI is only a $15 billion market cap, and still that's a fraction what Dogecoin is, and that's roughly where Shiba Inu is right now, give or take a billion or two, right? Shiba Inu is at a $12 billion market cap, and last bull run, Shiba Inu, if we go to the chart right here, we just click on market cap, we click on all, look at what it got up to. It got up to nearly a $40 billion market cap. So the reason why I think the next move for FLOKI is going to be explosive alongside what happened with Dogecoin is because they're one of the strongest utility-driven meme coin projects out there, and they have a really strong community. They're attacking the gaming industry. They're set to launch their mainnet in Q1 of this year. After 3 years of meticulous development, Valhalla, their flagship play-to-earn MMORPG, is set to launch, and they have a dedicated treasury worth $43 million powering their play-to-earn economy. Valhalla will create unprecedented opportunities for gamers worldwide while ensuring long-term sustainability of their in-game economy. They just got listed on Arkham Exchange Spot and Perpetuals. They've been sponsoring massive sporting events overseas, just getting massive awareness. They also have their TokenFi token, which is a real-world asset project, so they're positioning themselves within the RWA space as well too. And also, if we just look at the meme coin leader, Dogecoin, in 2021, the new all-time high didn't happen until 8 days after the presidential inauguration. So will it take this long again for Dogecoin? And when Dogecoin breaks out, what do you guys think that will do to meme coins like Shiba Inu, like Pepe, like Bonk, Pudgy Penguins, and FLOKI, Dog with Hat, Brett, all the other meme coins as well too? I think that's going to send meme coins through the roof. So as bullish as I am on projects like XRP, or you got HBAR or XDC or XLM or Algorand, I do think meme coins are going to absolutely melt faces when Dogecoin starts to break out, because Dogecoin's been consolidating for a while, not really doing anything since the 12th of November. So for about 63 days, Dogecoin has been selling off. What do you guys think happens when Dogecoin makes the next move up? Well, FLOKI is inevitably going to follow. Again, I make no guarantees there, but that's just common sense in my eye. And over the past week with these projects down, 10%, 14%, some of them down, like AIOZ, 30%, MogCoin, 20%. Some of these are on massive dips. And how do you make money in crypto? Again, what do? Buy low, sell high. So it's not really a question of if this breakout happens. It's a matter of when how fast it happens, when it'll peak out, and how large of a percentage gain it will be. Now, again, you guys know I make no guarantees, but this is just too easy. Look at what Elon Musk posted about an hour ago when I started researching this video. He said, just wanted to express appreciation for Donald Trump and so many people, both inside and outside of government, supporting DOGE. He's confident that the American people will be happy with the outcome. Do you guys think Elon Musk is just going to sit there and let Dogecoin fail? No, he's going to do everything in his power he can to pump his bags because he most likely holds Dogecoin. And then that's why he created Department of Government Efficiency. So Donald Trump just posted this saying, for far too long, we have relied on taxing our great people using the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, through soft and pathetically weak trade agreements. The American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world. While taxing ourselves, it is time for that to change. I am today announcing that I will create the External Revenue Service to collect our tariffs, duties, and all revenue that comes from foreign sources. We will begin charging those that make money off of us with trade, and they will start paying, finally, their fair share. January 20th, 2025 will be the birth date of the External Revenue Service, the ERS, making America great again. So when I bring up this post again saying Trump is expected to issue executive orders pertaining to crypto on day one, this is the type of news that just catapults the markets when people least expect it. So even though we're seeing a sell-off the past, week on a lot of major projects going into inauguration, well, post-inauguration is when the majority of liquidity historically has flowed in the market like it has last inauguration for Donald Trump, because back in January 20th of 2017, that's when he was inaugurated previously. And if you look right here on the chart, we can see Dogecoin sold off from the 5th of January to January 20th and inevitably just kind of went sideways right here until really March, and then just absolutely exploded to the upside. So it wasn't the inauguration day that caused the explosion. It was after the inauguration day, even by a few months, for Dogecoin to explode. So the longer that it takes for this breakout to happen, the better, because you have to reshift your mind to make money here. You don't make money on the breakouts. You make money while projects sell off, and you accumulate and you dollar cost average as much as you can afford to lose, obviously, while the markets are low, because you want something like this to happen for a long period of time so you can accumulate as much as possible. So when the breakouts finally do happen, your portfolio is worth more when the rally takes place. And by the time the peak happens, if you don't have enough money down here, then you don't want to get caught with your pants around your ankles buying up here when you finally do have money from your business, from your job, from your savings, from your funding, whatever it may be. So I just pray that the markets just go sideways and even sell off a little bit longer. If it takes Dogecoin a while to break out and we just do something like this and we just continuously sell off back down to the high of the 31st of March to bounce off that, and then we see the breakout take place for like Doge, FLOKI, XRP, Bitcoin, the rest of the market, well, then that gives me more time to accumulate as much as possible and make more money in my business. It's really simple, guys, and that's why we're hosting an event January 26th through 28th in Vegas to help you guys understand more about crypto, more about business, scaling your income, and we're going to be having about 50 people there. The event's almost sold out. I think there's just like maybe 5 or 10 tickets left. And so you can see the schedule right here through the link in the description below. Watch this 3-minute video. You have to be an Altcoin Pro University member. We've rented out this mansion and you guys can come connect with us, hang out. We're going to have private catering. We're going to have events inside the mansion, outside the mansion as well too, to be able to hang out, learn, mastermind, connect, and grow from Altcoin Pros. And this update will explain all about that for you guys, for those of you that want to meet in person in 11 days. I know it's last minute. I know it might be stressful to, get a hotel last minute, flight last minute. We're not covering your hotel or flight, but when you go through the link, you get started with Altcoin Pro University, you get your event ticket. That will get you access to the event through the 26th through the 28th. It's very, very cheap, guys. It's only like $300. We're not really making any money from the event. We're just covering the secret activities and also the food catering. And it's covering the mansion as well too. In the future, we're going to be charging more for these events because we have very knowledgeable, wealthy, successful people there to help you guys out in person, answer your questions, and just get to know us better rather than just watching through the TV screen or your phone screen where you're watching this video right now. So check that out through the link below. I know you're going to love it, and we look forward to doing more of these in person. Now, I thought this was pretty interesting, guys, because we've seen some recent developments happen, not only for Ripple that we've been covering every day, but Chainlink, because Ripple and Chainlink are tied to the World Economic Forum. The irony is absolutely perfect. Swift will never use XRP, people are saying. Swift then partners with Chainlink. Ripple launches RLUSD. Chainlink needs Ripple. So everything goes back to XRP, the standard. Like I talked about in my previous video, Ripple is doing for value what the internet did for information, enabling its instant seamless flow around the world. Ripple calls this the internet of value using blockchain cryptocurrency technology. Ripple is partnering with massive companies, to integrate their technology for governments, businesses, and consumers worldwide. And Chainlink is connecting blockchain smart contracts via real world data. Now, if you look right here, SWIFT successfully demonstrated that global banks can transact with multiple blockchains using Chainlink's CCIP. And SWIFT, that serves as the primary interbank messaging service for financial institutions around the globe, working with 11,000 member institutions and facilitates 150 trillion in transactions per year. Well, for Consensus 2024 by CoinDesk, this was posted on the main stage how SWIFT and Chainlink are working together to unlock tokenized assets at scale. Why would they give these speeches with this co-founder of Chainlink and head of securities and digital asset strategy at SWIFT together if it wasn't happening, guys? I mean, come on. These are just facts here. This is not opinions anymore. We've been telling you guys this for a long period of time, conducted by Chainlink. Financial market infrastructures underneath this. We have Euroclear, SWIFT, asset managers like Franklin Templeton involved with Wellington Management. We have banks and custodians like UBS, Vontobel, blockchains like Hyperledger, Avalanche, ZK Sync, the XRP ledger as well too. It should be on this. So that's why it's not necessarily just going to be one currency that does everything. It's going to be a basket of these currencies facilitating multiple things because they all need each other. And Chainlink is definitely one of them. So if we look at the chart here compared to Bitcoin, when the breakout took place back in 2017 after March, when Bitcoin broke the previous high of 2013 and started rallying above, $1,200. Well, Chainlink right here wasn't listed on Coinbase at that time, but one thing we can do is we can measure from the high of that bull run. Chainlink peaked out shortly after that, right here at the middle of January, along with the other altcoins. And then we went into a bear market along with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin bottomed out, roughly in December of 2018, Chainlink had a double bottom down here. Even though it was a higher low than June of 2018, it was still a low of below 20 cents for Chainlink. And if we measure from that bottom to Bitcoin's all-time high, is roughly 1,064-ish days. I might be off by a day or two, but pretty close, where Chainlink peaked out on the 10th of May, while Bitcoin saw the first peak right here, and then that sell-off followed by the double top right here that was higher than the previous high. Chainlink was forming a lower high. And so if we were to just drag this date range right here from the bottom of Bitcoin in 2022 to where that could potentially put the peak for Chainlink, that leads us into October of 2025. Now, even if, let's say, for example, I were to measure from the bear market bottom for Bitcoin back here in 2018 to Chainlink's actual high in 2021 and then drag it to Bitcoin's bear market bottom over here, the peak for Chainlink could technically come in sometime around April, as we saw the first high in Chainlink up here and then a lower high while Bitcoin was making a higher high. So it just really depends. Nobody knows exactly what it's going to look like on the chart, but the fact that we are still below the all-time high for Chainlink of $50 and we're sitting at $20 right now is incredibly bullish. So when the rest of the market breaks out, when the tides rise, so do all ships. I would just expect Chainlink to break out with the rest of the market as well too and start its ascent into price discovery alongside Bitcoin. So looking at the total 3 chart, which is the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, it includes, XRP, Chainlink, Solana, every other altcoin, Dogecoin, FLOKI, etc. Well, we just broke out of a falling wedge. The RSI was below 30. We had a retest of the falling wedge plus an inverse head and shoulders formation. On top of that, we have the inauguration day coming up. The last time that Trump was inaugurated. After that, we saw an explosion in price. We have the Fed, the Treasury continuously putting more money in circulation. Inflation is not stopping. The spending power of the dollar is going down. And those who have the most money coming into their bank accounts from their businesses realize this. So they're just taking that money, they're investing that into corporate accounts through whether it be ETFs, ETPs, their own IRA accounts, investing that into crypto. They're just scooping up all the crypto and shaking you out of your positions through strategic FUD events pushed through mainstream media. So do not let them shake you out. Know what you hold. and stay plugged in every single day, because our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now. Watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree. If that's a goal of yours, our goal is to help 1,000 members set their portfolio up for life this month. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.